there are just so many government grants and opportunities out there. Like there are literally, 1,500 government grants and programs that open and close across the year with about $60 billion in funding. And I think it's quite hard or tricky if you don't have a basic fundamental understanding of the space in order to sort of traverse the area and understand, what opportunities are a good fit for my business and what opportunities are maybe, not a good fit. Grant Help is a government grant consultancy business, meaning that we, specialize in a wide variety of government grants and government programs across both state and federal levels. The issue is with the government grant landscape is that there are only about, say, 1% of the entire government grants and programs that open and close across the year are these entitlement-based programs or these eligibility-based programs. So it's kind of like finding a dime in the rough. They're going to look and say, okay, well, the US, which we were doing X amount of hundreds of billions of dollars to each year, is no longer a viable trading partner due to these tariffs. Well, let's have a look at what other countries have similar socioeconomic conditions as the US and then start to divert the excess stuff that they couldn't send to the US to those particular regions. Now, if you're looking at countries that are similar in nature to the US, you're essentially having a look at countries like the UK, you're having a look at countries like obviously Australia, and you're having a look at countries like, say, New Zealand. What was that step-by-step process that went into kind of creating that, being that step one component there, which is super essential, and that's kind of that technical description of what's taken place. You've then got kind of step two, which is the expenses that sit in the P&L, and it's like, okay, well, we've got a description of what's taken place. Well, what are the expenses that relate to that? It could be if you're in software development, say if they're building with a company like yours, for instance, well, it'd be the invoices to Aerion Technologies as an example, and then other expenses that relate to that project that you've described. But I'd say the third part, which is arguably the most important part.
We get asked this question a lot, being in software consulting, and many businesses come to us and say, I'll just do an R&D tax claim. And so I'll sort of float, okay, what is the unique thing that you're building here? What is that specific research and development? What's the risk in the project? I'd like to hear from you as to how you might frame this, especially from a software perspective. In some other areas, it's a lot easier. Doing clinical trials or in research in a lab, there's a lot easier to probably justify and build a research model around. How might you recommend that for people that are in the software space? Because it is the easiest thing to really go after, but you have to be conscious that you must be meeting the criteria as well.
A lot of people had spent all this time kind of going ahead and building tech. I had this one guy that was there that was building tech for the last 5 years, but he was still at the point where he hadn't actually got any sales yet, and he was looking for a commercial partner to help sort of promote the sales. But what I was kind of saying to him as an example, and this kind of segues in, I guess, nicely kind of with what you guys do in that sense too, is that the most successful people that I've seen are working with third parties that in this time where they can't just be burning money trialing things, that are very competent, that know what they're doing, and that can execute on successful software projects and have a proven track record to do it, like e.g. like the way that you guys have, and then that they are then spending their time on, the personal branding, the marketing, the promotion, the launching of a wait list in order to understand if people actually want the product. But some of these programs, there are limited government budgets. So I'd say the government's not out there, promoting them heaps or, doing a lot of like paid advertising, we'll call it, to really get the word out there. Like sometimes it's just about kind of having that knowledge or understanding, what is available. But there are sort of some tips and tricks that I like to recommend, whether you're a software, whether you're a service, or whether you're a product. You do need to be starting to have those conversations of how can we expand internationally and which are the best markets to do that, and how can we access government support in order to subsidize the costs in order to do that as well. Because this program, you can access up to $80,000 each year for up to 8 years.